On top of that, Muhammad is the agent, the medium through which Allah's graces are bestowed upon believers. Again, let me repeat. According to the Quran, Muhammad is Allah's partner in dispensing graces, in dispensing Allah's favor upon humanity. If you understand what I just said, put a 1. According to the Quran, Allah and Muhammad are partners in dispensing divine favor, graces to Muslims. Let's now read the evidence. Chapter 9, verse 59. Guys, pay attention. 9:59. If only they had been content. Guys, pay attention. If only they had been content with what Allah and His apostle gave them. Who gave them? Not Allah alone. Allah and Muhammad together gave them. And had said, pay attention, this is 9:59, sufficient unto us is Allah. Watch here. Allah and His apostle will soon give us of His bounty. Again, I'm confused. Whose bounty? Who's His? Right? Again, the singular. Again, I'm confused, guys. Here it is. 9:59. One more time. Read with me. Whose bounty? Who's giving them from His bounty? If only they had been content with what Allah and His apostle gave them. Notice the conjunction wa, conjunction of partnership, and had said, sufficient unto us is Allah, God. Allah and His apostle will soon give us of His bounty. Guys, whose bounty are they benefiting from? Who's bestowing His bounty upon the Muslims? Help me out. Jonathan, help me out. Who is it? Whose bounty is being dispensed?
That of Allah.
But wait, it says Allah and His apostle gave them.
Allah and Muhammad, both.
But how can it be Muhammad's bounty when Muhammad's only a creature and not God?
Because what is Muhammad's bounty is also Allah's bounty.
But wait, Jonathan, I thought Shabir Ali, Yusuf, Ismail, all these Muslims say that Islam is the purest form of monotheism and we do not worship Muhammad and we don't turn him into a god. What's going on here? And by the way, for Michael, notice I'm quoting the Quran. So even if you're Quran only, I'm using the Quran to prove that the Quran turns Muhammad into a god. Are you ready for the next passage? Chapter 9, verse 74. Next passage. And then we're going to go into praying to Muhammad. You guys ready? 974. Yeah, I know I look evil, don't I? 974, Jonathan. Let's read, guys. It's a long one, but please pay attention. I'm going to read it slowly, and I posted it in the comment section. 974. They swear by Allah that they did not speak, and certainly they did speak, the word of unbelief and disbelieved after their Islam. And they had determined upon what they have not been able to effect. Guys, pay attention, please. Very important. Watch this, Jonathan, everyone else. And they did not find fault except because Allah and His apostle, wa rasuluhu, I'm sorry, the who at the end. Wa, conjunction of partnership, rasuluhu. Allah and His apostle enriched them out of His grace. Oh man, I'm confused. Wait. Who enriched them? Here goes 959. Who enriched them? Guys, here goes that relevant part. I just posted it. Here it goes. And they did not find fault except because Allah and His apostle enriched them out of His grace. Whose grace again? Again, it's singular, right? Fadlihi, singular. You see it? Fadlihi. Allah and Muhammad together enriched people out of His grace. Whose grace enriched the Muslims? And who bestowed that grace on the Muslims? Can someone help me? Come on, guys, answer. Because I want to go down to praying to Muhammad. Help me out, guys. You forget to focus on the evidence because you need to use this. Use this information in your evangelism to expose the lie that Muslims do not worship Muhammad. They may think they do, but they do. because the Quran elevates him to a status of deity subordinate to his God. So is it clear that according to this passage, Jonathan and everyone else, Allah and Muhammad together, enriched people together, out of his grace together? Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but my question is, the his grace, the his refers to who? Whose grace is it? Whose grace is it? Help me out. Come on, Jonathan. Help me out.
It's Allah and Muhammad's.
Allah and his messenger.
Yes.
Instead of saying out of their grace, his grace, we'll say, well, ultimately it's the grace of Allah that is being bestowed through Muhammad. Even if you say that, let's say the ultimate source is Allah. Why is Muhammad his partner? Why is Allah using the medium of Muhammad to bestow graces upon his community, his ummah, the mu'minun? Why is Allah taking a partner to dispense his grace, his mercy, his riches, his favor, his forgiveness, his salvation? If Islam truly teaches absolute monotheism, you don't need any middleman, you can go to Allah directly. But let me ask you another question, mu'minun, right? Let me ask you another question. How can these passages still be valid, and how can these passages still be observed now that Muhammad is dead? Who now is bestowing the grace of Allah upon Muslims now that Muhammad is dead? Can you help me out? Who now is enriching Muslims out of Allah's bounty now that Muhammad is dead? Who's doing it?
Allah.
But if you say Allah is doing it and he's no longer using Muhammad, so you're basically telling me, Jonathan, Surah 959 and 74 are obsolete, null and void?
Guess so.
But then if it's obsolete, null and void, then you're telling me there are many verses in the Quran no longer applicable for Muslims today, right?
I guess so.
If that's the case, then how can the Quran be the final revelation for all mankind at all times till the end?
Uh-huh.
How can it be? Can you explain to me? God bless you, Brian Mary. Lord be with you. How can it be? Or you're going to have to say, just because Muhammad is physically dead, he's still alive in the grave, and he's still bestowing the graces of Allah upon us, and still enriching us because he's still praying for us. Is that clear? Two options again, right, saints? Either you're going to say 959, 974, obsolete, correct? Obsolete. They're obsolete. Therefore, that means that the Quran is a contingent revelation. The Quran is dependent on the life of Muhammad, because many, if not much of the Quran is now obsolete now that Muhammad is dead. If that's the case, then you can't tell me that the Quran from cover to cover is a message for all of mankind for all times. And then you have the dilemma of Allah's speech being dependent on the life of Muhammad. Why would Allah's speech be dependent on the existence of a creature? Why does Allah need a creature to make his speech applicable and valid?